Good morning. This is Alan Hollander, broadcasting to you from the beautiful shores of Lake Okanagan in Peachland, British Columbia, Canada. It's a frosty morning here in Peachland. The sun is shining. We had a snowstorm here blow through the last couple of days, and it's just turned into sunny, clear, and cold. And we'll give you the weather forecast for Peachlanders a little bit later on. But get ready, because we're going to go back to the temperatures that we had. If you recall the Christmas light up, I keep referring to the Christmas light up because that's the night I brought my old long johns out of storage from when I was a kid in Edmonton. Having spent 45 years on the coast, I got spoiled. So dug the long underwear out of the mothballs and wore them on the Christmas light up, which was in mid-December. Well, we had temperatures of minus 19 to 20 then. Well, get ready for those temperatures again when I give you the long-range forecast. So it's going to be cold. So I don't know where it is in your neck of the world. You don't even want to say is your neck of the woods. I should refer to it as your neck of the world, because literally. We are broadcasting to the world through the mothership here in Peachland with our brand new radio station, Peachland Radio. And by the way, this weekend, speaking of Peachland Radio, we are going to be having our sneak preview week starting tomorrow. Fingers crossed. I spoke to my people today, and big shout out to Dave, who is my broadcasting veteran colleague. I won't tell you how long he's been in the industry, but probably just as long as yours truly. And Dave and I have connected through a Rotary meeting, and he just has been fantastic, a good friend, and somebody who knows the business inside and out, and is putting together the final touches on our radio programs for launch for the sneak preview week. And boy, I think you're in for a real treat. There's going to be 19 shows up on our broadcast site at peachlandradio.com. So I hope you'll be able to listen to all of those and experience the magic of radio as it returns here in Peachland. This is the home base, but really, all of you, I know, I've been getting wonderful emails from people saying it's so exciting to have the magic of radio return. You know, the original radio, original personality radio with hosts that really know what they're talking about, and shows that have a little bit of everything in it. And you know, I'm gonna go through the kind of the programs and what you can listen to and so forth. I'm going to do that tomorrow because that'll be the day that we start, February 1st, and so stay tuned for that. But we'll talk about a number of other things this morning as well. My voice has come back, even though I keep clearing my throat. You know what? I hope you'll understand. We don't have a cough switch. In the old days, you could just flip a cough switch, and if you felt a cough coming on, then you'd hear a pause, and the person would suddenly, oh my goodness, what happened? They coughed. So this morning I have coffee. I don't know if it's going to work as effectively, but I'll talk slower and more deliberately. So what happened in the news? What happened last night while you were sleeping? That's what we call this show the morning after, because by the time you wake up in the morning, you're inundated with everything that's going on in today's world. And what we try to do is grab a few of those stories and look at the headlines, look at the stories behind the headlines, and then talk about it. And so that's why it's only 30 minutes and it goes by real fast, because we just pick a few topics. There's so much that's going on in the world. It would be impossible. You'd need like a 25-hour show in the morning. So these are some of the highlights of what happened while you were sleeping and developing stories, so to speak. And we're also going to talk about stories, obviously, that are happening right here in Peachland. And as we move further along in the development of Peachland Radio, you're going to see more local shows, live shows. In May, we're going to do a big community launch, and we'll be launching our station here in Peachland along side by side with the tourism office and the Chamber of Commerce and the district. All of them are going to be on board and probably literally on a stage in the new schoolhouse, which is a refurbished schoolhouse, which is just a beautiful building now and contains the tourism office and the chamber office. And we're going to do our launch from there with the community. And it's going to be the same weekend as the World of Wheels, which attracts thousands and thousands of people to Peachland in May. And that's the Victoria Day weekend in Canada. So those of you that are really planning ahead, I want to be here for a fantastic weekend, it would be the Victoria Day weekend. Because on that Saturday, we'll be launching the radio station, and then the next day is the World of Wheels, I believe, on the Sunday. So lots to do, and we'll talk more about that as we move towards that big, long weekend. But I did promise Gail Scott, who's with the Chamber of Commerce here locally, to talk about the Chamber Awards that are happening in Peachland. And so I've got a little note that she sent me about the 2013-2014 Peachland Business Excellence Awards. It's going to take place on Saturday, March the 18th, and you have an opportunity to actually fill out the ballots in various locations available to cast your vote in various categories. And first of all, I'll tell you where the ballots are available. They're available at the Peachland View newspaper office, the Peachland Visitors Center, Johnson Meyer Insurance, Peachland Museum, the Peachland Library, Bliss Bakery, and the Blind Angler's Grill. All of those are on Beach Avenue. And, of course, the library's in the Peachland Mall off Highway 97. And the rest are all in the Peachland area, in downtown core. So those where the ballots are available. The final day for nominations is Friday, February the 14th. Ooh, that's Valentine's Day, at 5 o'clock. And you have an opportunity to vote for excellence in the service sector, retail wholesale, trades and construction, tourism and hospitality, restaurant and food services, creative sector, business of the year, business person of the year, a rising star, and community booster. So those are the categories that you can vote in, and don't forget to vote. I am so sorry for clearing my throat on the air. Sincere apologies. Okay, let's see. What else did she send me? There's a sponsorship package that people can sign up to be sponsors, and there's various categories. There's a speaker sponsor, there's a silver sponsor, an in-kind sponsor, and I believe a title sponsor, but I think that has been chosen already, or there is somebody for that. But if you're interested in the sponsorship side of things, and I just lost my goodness, Microsoft just ended. I don't know what's happening. I opened her email attachment, and now I've got a whole bunch of funny stuff going on. Oh, now it's opening another. Okay, I was about to tell you how to get a hold of Gail. We're experiencing a little difficulty here, folks. My apologies. Microsoft Word is now opening for some reason, and I don't know why it's opening, but I'm going to give you Gail's, if I can find it here. I just got so many things on the go here. Oh my goodness gracious me! All right, here you go. Get a hold of Gail Scott. That's my advice to you. And I'm going to try and get her phone number. Of all things, it's her phone number that's not showing up, and I'm getting some weird. Oh my goodness, what's happening here? Oh, wow. So sorry, but it looks like I can't even find Gail's phone number here. Wait a minute here. Oh, wait a minute. Here's something popping up. I have no idea what this is. Maybe this is hers. Anyways, let's let's get on with the news here, because something has happened to my computer, and I can't even get to report the news now because it's blocking that. Hang on. All right, I'll get back and get you the phone number for Dale. For Gail. All right, let's talk about. Let's see what's happening. Oh, this is an interesting news item that just popped up with respect to. This is out of the CBC. Breaking news exclusive to the CBC that the a top secret document retrieved by U.S. whistleblower Edward Snowden and obtained by CBC News showed that Canada's electronic spy agency used information from the free internet service at a major Canadian airport to track the wireless devices of thousands of ordinary airline passengers for days after they left the terminal. After reviewing the document, one of Canada's foremost authorities on cybersecurity says the clandestine operation by the Communications Security Establishment Canada was almost certainly illegal. Ronald Dilbert told CBC News, "I can't see any circumstance in which this would not be unlawful under current Canadian law, under our charter, under CSEC's mandates. The spy agency is supposed to be collecting primarily foreign intelligence by intercepting overseas phone and internet traffic, and is prohibited by law from targeting Canadians or anyone in Canada without a judicial warrant." A spokesman for CSEC, John Forster, the chief, recently stated, I can tell you that we do not target Canadians at home or abroad in our foreign intelligence activities, nor do we target anyone in Canada. In fact, it's prohibited by law. Protecting the privacy of Canadians is our most important principle." So either, this is standard rhetoric from anybody that might be wanting to hide something. It's like I said to you, it's amazing how people can they say something, they mean something completely different, and we are supposed to believe them. Well, those days are gone, as we know. As I said to you, we're at the lowest level of trust now since the 1930s of government and companies. So the people are not necessarily buying this all the time. It makes for great news fodder, but beyond that, it's not. In fact, he says it's prohibited by law. Protecting the privacy of Canadians is our most important principle. Now, that's what he's saying, but of course, Snowden's saying something different. And security experts who have been apprised of the document point out the airline passengers in a Canadian airport were clearly in when all this happened. And so that's what's happening. That's just come to light this morning. And experts say that the latest Snowden document indicates the spy service was provided with information captured from unsuspecting travelers, wireless devices by the airport's free Wi-Fi system over a 2-week period. Experts say that probably included many Canadians whose smartphone and laptop signals were intercepted without their knowledge as they passed through the terminal. The document shows the Federal Intelligence Agency was then able to track the travelers for a week or more as they and their wireless devices showed up in other Wi-Fi hotspots in cities across Canada and even at U.S. airports. That included people visiting other airports, hotels, coffee shop, restaurants, libraries, ground transportation hubs, etc., etc. So there's going to be more on that story as we that's developed. So we'll get out of that one. And what else happened? Oh, this is, of course, we're all aware now of the falling loonie. It means, I think, just more of the same from the standpoint of Canadian consumers. We've just lost about 10% of our purchasing power, and everyone should be upset. Maybe they're not, but that's certainly happened. I'm just going here to the story that I found. An interesting article by Neil MacDonald, who's the senior Washington correspondent. He says, having lived for so long in the savagely competitive American marketplace, I'm always amazed when I return to Canada at how some of my more bovine, which I think he's referring to cattle fellow citizens, are willing to rationalize being milked. Whenever the discussion drifts to how just about everything in Canada costs more than it does across the nearby American border, some trusting soul pipes up with something like, well, that's just the price we pay for our healthcare system. Or if that's what it costs to have a more caring society, then I'm willing to pay for it. Even a few years ago when the loonie was powerful and rising, you'd hear nonsense like that. So but for some reason, he says, Canadians tend to conflate the higher taxes we pay, which go toward financing social programs like healthcare, and the higher prices we pay would simply go into some greedy company's bank account. Well, he's not wrong there. If you had the gall, as I did after the loonie shot well past the US dollar in 2007, to call one of those companies, say a clothing retailer or a big car company like Honda, and ask why Canadian prices were so slow to drop, you'd run into a trained SEAL who'd rattle off practiced talking points such as, well, we still have a lot of inventory in the system that we paid for when the Canadian dollar was weaker. So in other words, it's sort of more of the same. And, that's the same rationale as to why gas prices suddenly increase on the weekend when people are driving more just before holidays. What's interesting is since I moved to the Okanagan, especially near Peachland here, you don't see the fluctuating prices like we did in Vancouver. Okay, they stay first of all, they're about 10 to 15 cents cheaper because people here aren't paying the same taxes they are at the Lower Mainland. But for some reason, the prices remain pretty solid. They don't fluctuate a lot. But in Vancouver, literally you'd fill up on a Thursday because you knew that the prices were going to go up on a Friday. Or you'd fill up on a Wednesday because you knew they were going up on a Thursday. So it was like a lottery. It was like a gamble. You take your chance. It was a crapshoot with the gas prices. So if somebody can explain to me why, and obviously the greed factor is there. The Lower Mainland, there's more people. Let's really jack up the prices but explain to me why the prices are jacked up on the Lower Mainland, but they remain relatively stable here in the Okanagan, particularly, at least from the standpoint where we are in Peachland near Kelowna. So, anyways, interesting. That's interesting. Another reason why we love it here. And let's see. Canadian consumers, yeah. Okay, here's a blog item from that article. Let's see. Anyways, folks, here's DC in BC, one of the bloggers writes, folks, whether you are at a grocery store or a department store here in Canada, if you feel that a product is overpriced and you can do without it, then just don't make a purchase. Eventually, the retailer will have to start lowering the price until it meets the price at which the consumer will purchase it. And if enough consumers do this, you'll see the power that the consumer can create. Well, good on you, DC. Absolutely. Amen to that. And that's what Born Yesterday says. Another blogger, Twitter, whatever you want to say, tweety. His comment was absolutely great on you, DC and BC. Absolutely. I do this all the time. I just wish more people would do this too. I've also said this about our gas prices. Oh, I was just talking about that. There you go. He's talking about. When everyone was trying to convince everyone to boycott a certain station for one day, what we should be doing is boycott one company until they lower their price by something like 5 cents a liter. Once they do, pick the next target. It's the only way we're going to be able to show the greedy corporations who really is in charge. So that's our little item for that. And by the way, the loonie has been predicted to drop even further. Some people are predicting 80 cents. Not sure if it's going to go down that low, but we're down to 89 now, so who knows? Who knows what to expect? I put up an item. Hang on here. What's this? Oh, that's not working. Oh my God, there we are. We're back to the same Business Excellence Awards. Oh my God. So sorry to Gail for what I've done here. I haven't given her the accurate. I'm trying to find another report here. Okay, I will get you Gail's number by the end of the show. Trust me. Oh, by the way, on our website, on our Peachland Radio Waves website, I have put the the Super Bowl. That's right. All the Super Bowl ads, which are going to be shown, but not necessarily in Canada, which is interesting, because of some draconian rule, Canadians are not allowed to see American Super Bowl ads. You're only allowed to see repetitious Canadian ads during the Super Bowl. Unless you're watching it in the U.S., that's the only way you're going to get a chance to see it. But all the cable channels, it's the same thing. We never get to see them. So I know it's a little ridiculous. But there's some great ads in there. And one of the things that I'm realizing now is that I have to get out of that section and tell you that in fact, that's the case. Let's see. So while my computer is just doing all sorts of funny things, I have no idea. It's spinning wheels. Don't you love those spinning wheels? The red and yellow and whatever spinning wheels. Anyways, let's get back to some local news because I now have a newspaper in front of me. The wonderful newspaper. Remember those days? I'm going to rattle the newspaper for you. We still have them in people. Newspaper. Thank God for that. I know that a lot of the dailies are going out of business, but the Peachland View is still very much alive. And so what are some of the items that we find in Peachland today? Well, there's the Peachland bylaw officer, Dale Zimmerman, is going to return to his beat this summer. Peachland Council decided this last Tuesday. At this week's Committee of the Whole meeting, staff recommended that Council renew the contract with Zimmerman for the provision of seasonal bylaw enforcement services to the district for 2 years, and that the contractor's flat fee will be increased to $28 an hour. Zimmerman, who many of you know probably, we get to know everybody in Peachland, just walk down the street and say hi, and there's a familiar face. It's great. Zimmerman has served as Peachland seasonal bylaw officer since 2007, during which time remuneration for his contract has not been increased. Zimmerman's contract typically begins at the May long weekend and ends in September, in addition to a few other occasions when he is required. So, everybody's happy about that. The Arts Council is going to receive funding for the gallery. While Peachland Council has not yet adopted this year's budget, this week the Committee of the Whole did approve a $14,000 funding request by the Peachland Community Arts Council to help establish an art gallery in the Galleria Hall area of the primary school building. In a letter to Peachland Council, PCAC Vice President Phyllis Papineau said one of the Arts Council's short-term goals is to develop a year-round gallery in the renovated primary school building. Papineau says in 2014, the Arts Council plans to set up a gallery implementation committee, hire a professional gallery curator and 2 seasonal students, and set up a sales and online rental system to generate revenue. Currently, the Arts Council and the primary school building's anchor tenants are in negotiations about how to share the building. But plans are underway to establish a space in the Galleria area for the arts community, which will be called the Peachland Art Gallery. While the funding request was approved, not all members of the council were in support of helping to fund the project to such an extent at this time. I won't be supporting the application for the $14,000. I don't think at this point we have clarity on actually what's happening with the art gallery. The money basically is to run the gallery, and there still is no agreement between the Arts Council and the anchor tenants. Councillor Eric Hall was quoted as saying at last Tuesday's committee meeting of the whole, "I think that for whatever reason, the agreement seems to be a long time coming. I have serious doubts as to whether the operation of the art gallery in the primary school is going to come together and require paid staff. I would support paid staff for the art gallery. I support the Arts Council. They do wonderful things. I have no problem putting money aside for the Peachland Players and the Hearts Festival. I support all those events, but I won't be voting for any paid staff in the gallery." However, other members of council were more optimistic about an agreement. "I'm sure it's going to come to fruition. I can't see it not happening," Councillor Peter Sheerbeck said. Mayor Keith Fielding said he also expects the art gallery in the school will proceed as planned. "My understanding is they're very close to an agreement," Mayor Fielding said. "I've made inquiries both at the Arts Council and at the Chamber of Commerce, and my understanding is that those issues that are outstanding will be resolved in the very near future, and both parties are committed to making this happen. It's just a matter of finalizing details." I'm in favor of approving the $14,000. There's no question there. That's from Councillor Vern Moberg. At the same committee meeting, members of Peachland Council also approved naming the Galleria Hall area of the primary school building the Mary Smith Hall. The Peachland Communities Arts Council decided that once the final user agreement with the Chamber of Commerce is signed, they would like the gallery under the charge of the PCAC to be named the Peachland Art Gallery, a name that would best fulfill any browsing activity on the internet. PCAC President Crystal Davidson wrote in a letter to the Mayor and Council. She said that the hall in which the gallery resides, however, would be fittingly named the Mary Smith Hall in honor of one of Peachland's longtime volunteers. And Mary Smith formed the Peachland Art Group, which recently held its 53rd show and sale, designed the Peachland's mayor's chain of office, the Peachland flag, and volunteered for over 60 years for various organizations, including the Peachland Curling Club, Peachland Historical Society, and Peachland Senior Society, as well as helping with May Day and Jubilee celebrations. I knew Mary Smith as many people did. She was a great pioneer in the community who gave a great deal of herself and her time and was a gifted, talented artist. I can't think of a better name for the hall. This is a quote from Councillor Cindy Fortin. And then Mayor Fielding said, I agree. I think it is really a very nice thought for someone who has done a tremendous amount of work for this community. The naming of the gallery and hall received unanimous approval. So there's a little bit of some items from the Peachland, our Peachland community. So what do we got left here? I've got to check, and I'm having problems. I got about 4 minutes left. I'm going to give you the weather report, and then I'm out of here because things got a little screwy today with my computer. All right now it's -7. Oh my goodness, it's chilling. Chill out, folks. It's chilling in Peachland. It's -7. My computer just went blank. Oh no, it's -4. Okay, it just changed. All right, here's the forecast. Friday afternoon, mainly sunny, -2. It's going to feel like -5. Tonight, -7. An overnight low of -10. Here we go, folks. It's starting. So we got -8 Saturday morning with cloudy periods. You know, the computer is just not cooperating with me this morning. I'm really sorry about this. I don't know what happened, but you know, what are you going to do? Technology. I could just probably read the weather report from a newspaper if I could get it. Okay, here's the rest of the forecast. Saturday, tomorrow, cloudy periods, -2. Overnight low, -10. Sunday, scattered flurries, high of -2, low -7. Monday, variable cloudiness, overnight low -9, high of -5. And here's where it starts getting interesting. By Wednesday, the temperature is going to drop to an overnight low of -16 and a high of only -4. All right, that's it. I'm going to close that down. Enough with my computer. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry for all the problems this morning. Who knows what happened? It's Groundhog Day coming. Maybe that's what's happened. By the way, Sunday is Groundhog Day, and if he sees his shadow, 6 more weeks of winter. I think that's how it works. I don't know. I guess you got to see what the weather's going to be like. It's Punxsutawney Phil. No, I can't remember, isn't it? The Groundhog guy. Anyways, it's somewhere in the States. Remember Bill Murray's movie, The Groundhog Day. All right. So that's it. Enjoy your. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll give you a full lineup of programs, sneak preview for this weekend on Peachland Radio. So stay tuned for that. That's tomorrow morning. Until then, have a wonderful day. Stay tuned for Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. Just click on the link below to listen. The link below the what you're listening to now in the newspaper, the digital, the Peachland radio waves. I'm out of here. It's Friday afternoon. Bye for now.